You think you know the person sleeping next to you. You think you know the unspoken rules of your marriage, the quiet understanding that you're a team, facing the world together. I thought I knew, too. For 10 years, I built my life around Sarah. She was the center of my universe, the reason I worked the long hours, the person I dreamed of a future with. We had our struggles, like any couple, but I believed we were building something permanent, a fortress meant to withstand any storm. The crack in the foundation appeared on a Tuesday. It was our 10th anniversary. I'd planned everything, a quiet dinner at the restaurant where we'd had our first date, a new necklace I'd saved for months to buy, the same cheap champagne we'd shared as broke 20-somethings. I thought it would be a reminder of how far we'd come. I was waiting for her at the table, the little velvet box burning a hole in my pocket, when I got the text. Stuck at work. Big client dinner. Can't get out of it. Rain check? The disappointment was a physical weight, but I shrugged it off. Work was important. I understood. I went home, ate a cold sandwich, and told myself it was fine. But the cancellations became more frequent. The late nights at the office, the weekend conferences, the way her phone would face down on the table, screen dark. The distance between us grew from a crack into a chasm, filled with a silence that was louder than any argument. Then came the company summer gala. Sarah insisted I go. It's important for my career, Mark. Everyone will be there, including the partners. I need you there. So I went. I put on my best suit, practiced my smile in the mirror, and prepared to play the part of the supportive husband. The ballroom was a whirl of crystal and chatter. Sarah was in her element, glittering, laughing, a glass of champagne in her hand. I stayed by her side for a while, but I felt like a ghost. I eventually drifted towards the quieter edges of the room, finding a slightly secluded alcove near a towering ice sculpture to check my phone and just breathe for a moment. That's when I heard them. Sarah's laugh, that familiar, melodic sound I'd loved for a decade, rang out from the other side of the frozen swan. She was with a group from her department, including her boss, a sharply dressed man named David. I was about to step out and join them when her words, clear and sharp as the ice beside me, cut through the air and froze me in place. Someone from the group, a woman I didn't know, had gestured towards me. Sarah, your husband is so handsome. And he seems so sweet, always so quiet and supportive. You two are such a solid couple. And Sarah, my wife, the woman I'd shared a bed and a life with for 10 years, laughed again. It was a light, dismissive sound. Oh, him? God, no. Mark's, he's just temporary. The world seemed to slow down, the noise of the party fading into a dull, roaring hum in my ears. Her friend sounded confused. Temporary? What do you mean? You've been together forever. Exactly, Sarah said, her voice dripping with a casual cruelty I'd never heard before. He's comfortable. A placeholder, you know? He pays the bills, keeps the house running. He's like a reliable, old armchair. Useful for now, but eventually, you upgrade to something that actually fits the room. David here understands about ambition, about building a real life. I didn't hear David's response. I didn't need to. The words just temporary, placeholder, reliable old armchair echoed in my skull, each one a hammer blow shattering the last 10 years of my life. Every sacrifice, every late night I'd worked to give her everything, every dream we'd whispered in the dark, it all dissolved into dust in that single, public moment. A strange, cold calm settled over me. The pain was there, a white-hot brand on my heart, but it was immediately encased in ice. There was no anger, no screaming rage. Just a final, absolute clarity. I didn't confront her. I didn't make a scene. What would have been the point? She had just told me, and everyone who mattered to her, exactly what I was. Arguing would only confirm my status as the sad, outdated furniture she described. I turned and walked away. I didn't look back. I walked straight out of the ballroom, through the lavish hotel lobby, and out into the cool night air. I got into my car, drove home, and went directly to my home office. I opened my laptop. The first thing I did was find a real estate agent's website for a city 1,000 miles away. A city I'd always wanted to live in. I found a small, furnished apartment available for immediate lease, and I booked it online, paying the first and last month's rent with the money I'd been saving for a surprise vacation for us. Then, I logged into our shared bank account. I transferred exactly half of our savings into a new, separate account I opened in my name only. It wasn't revenge. It was practicality. I was no longer a placeholder. I was a man who needed a new foundation. I went upstairs and pulled my old suitcase from the closet. I didn't pack sentiment. I didn't pack wedding photos or the scrapbooks she'd made. I packed my clothes, my passport, my important documents, my grandfather's watch, and a few books. It took less than 20 minutes. The entirety of my life with Sarah, the part that truly mattered to me, fit into one single suitcase and a laptop bag. I loaded them into the car. Then, I went back inside one last time. I took off my wedding ring. It felt strangely light. I placed it carefully on the kitchen counter, right in the center, where she would be sure to see it. There was no note. What could I possibly say that her own words hadn't already said for me? I got back in my car and started driving. I didn't have a detailed plan, just a direction. I drove through the night, the hum of the tires on the asphalt the only sound. I watched the sun rise over a landscape I didn't recognize, painting the sky in colors of orange and pink, and for the first time in years, I felt something other than the weight of a life that was never truly mine. I felt free. It took Sarah 3 days to call me. When my phone finally lit up with her name, I was sitting in my new apartment, surrounded by blank walls and the quiet promise of a new beginning. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was frantic, confused. "Mark, where are you? Your stuff is gone. What's going on? Are you okay? This isn't funny. Call me back." She called again and again, her messages shifting from confusion to worry to finally a dawning, panicked understanding. "Mark, please. Talk to me. Whatever you heard at the gala, you have it all wrong. David is just my boss. You're my husband. You can't just leave." But I could. And I did. A week later, an envelope arrived from a lawyer. She was served with divorce papers. I didn't ask for anything except what was legally mine. No fights over the house, the car, the furniture. She could have it all. It was just part of the set dressing for a life I was no longer acting in. The last I heard from her was a single, final email. It was long, full of apologies and explanations, blaming stress, the wine, her own ambition. She said she never meant it, that she loved me, that I was the only permanent thing in her life. But the truth, my truth, had been spoken clearly for everyone to hear in a room full of strangers. "He's just temporary.